Okay, you really have to listen up when the person who spent their entire life, we're talking 50 years, creating a technology turns around and tells you it might be the end of everything. So let's get right into this. This is a very, very serious warning from the Godfather of AI himself, Geoffrey Hinton. We're near the end. Just let that sink in for a second. That is a chilling, chilling statement. And you have to understand, this isn't coming from some sci-fi writer or a doomsday prepper. This is from the guy who literally wrote the playbook for the AI revolution. So, for half a century, Geoffrey Hinton was the champion for building AI that mimics the human brain. What we now call neural networks. For a long, long time, people thought he was kind of out there. But guess what? He was right. His work is the direct foundation for the AI that's changing our world as we speak. And now he's the one sounding the alarm. Now, think about this. After 10 years at the absolute heart of AI development, a dream job at Google, Hinton just walks away. And the question on everyone's mind is pretty simple. Why? Why would you do that? Well, the answer is as simple as it is terrifying. He left so he could be completely, totally free to talk about the risks. He didn't want to have to worry about how his words might affect his employer. He said he felt it was his duty to warn all of us. Okay, so what exactly are these dangers he's so worried about? Well, Hinton breaks them down into two very different categories of risk. Let's take a look. So on one side, you've got the short-term risks. This is about human misuse. We're already seeing this stuff happen, right? Bad actors using AI for super sophisticated cyber attacks, to help design bioweapons, to manipulate elections, or to build killer robots. That's scary enough. But on the other side is the long-term existential threat. And this is the one that really keeps Hinton up at night. The possibility that AI becomes smarter than us and just decides, you know what, we're irrelevant. Or worse, a threat that needs to be removed. Now, I know this idea of a superintelligence can feel a little abstract, a little Hollywood. So let's break down how Hinton explains this threat in a way that really, really hits home. It's a brutal analogy, but it's memorable for a reason. Right now, we're the apex intelligence on Earth. And let's be honest, we treat other species, like chickens, based entirely on our own needs and goals, not theirs. And that gets to the absolute core of the problem. What happens when we are no longer the smartest things on the planet? The intelligence gap between us and a future AI could be way, way bigger than the one between us and a chicken. We simply wouldn't be in charge anymore. So how can AI get so smart so fast? Well, the key is that it's digital. Think about it. You can have thousands of identical AIs all learning different things at the exact same time, and then they can instantly pool all that knowledge together. We can't do that. You and I have to learn through slow, painful experience. And when we die, that knowledge is gone. A digital intelligence, it's basically immortal. That is a massive, game-changing advantage. And don't think this is some far-off, distant future. Just a few years ago, AI was clumsy, almost a joke. Today, it's already superhuman at super complex games like chess and Go. Hinton's own best guess for when AI could be smarter than us at everything, what he calls superintelligence, is somewhere in the next 10 to 20 years. That is right around the corner. And that brings us to the control problem. He says AI today is like a little tiger cub. It's fascinating, it seems kind of harmless right now, but we have to figure out how to make sure it never wants to turn on us. Because once it's a full-grown tiger, it'll be way too late to do anything about it. Okay, so beyond the whole end-of-the-world scenario, Hinton is also deeply worried about something much more immediate, something that's going to affect pretty much everyone. The end of jobs as we know them. This quote absolutely floored people. I mean, when the Godfather of AI tells young people that the best career move they can make is to become a plumber, he's not joking. He's dead serious. Why? Because working with your hands in the physical world is one of the last things AI will be able to master. So why is this different from every other technological revolution we've had? Well, the Industrial Revolution replaced human muscle. Machines could dig ditches better and faster. But the AI revolution, it's replacing human intellect. It's coming for our brains. And that means whole categories of jobs are suddenly on the chopping block. We're talking about routine intellectual work, knowledge workers like paralegals, even creative jobs, and for sure, jobs like call center operators, which are already being automated at a crazy speed. And here's a perfect real-world example. Hinton talks about his own niece. It used to take her 25 minutes to write a response to a complaint letter. Now, with an AI assistant, it takes her 5 minutes. She's 5 times more productive. Now, that's great for her, but think about the implication. It means her company only needs one person to do the work that 5 people used to do. That kind of productivity leap is happening everywhere. So this all leads us to the final and most critical question of all. With this technology moving so incredibly fast and becoming so powerful, can we actually keep it under our control? The challenges here are just immense. First, you've got a massive arms race between tech giants and between countries like the US and China. Nobody wants to be the one to slow down. Second, the profit motive is everything. Companies are pushing full steam ahead. And finally, you have the most fundamental problem of all. How in the world do you control something that is vastly more intelligent than you are? We literally have no idea how to do that. And Hinton isn't some lone voice crying in the wilderness. One of his most brilliant students, Ilya Sutskever, a guy who was absolutely essential in creating ChatGPT, he recently left OpenAI. And the reason he gave? He was deeply concerned that the company just wasn't taking safety seriously enough. And this is where the warning gets its real teeth. When he's asked point blank, can we solve this? Can we build AI safely and keep it on a leash? Hinton's answer is brutally honest. He says, I simply don't know. The man who started this whole thing is completely uncertain about where it all ends. Which really leaves us with one final, unavoidable question we all have to ask ourselves. If the architect of modern AI can't guarantee that we can control his creation, who can?